Hi. Recently I started recording in Cakewalk. And the cool thing about Cakewalk is, first of all, it's totally free. You can download it for free, install it, use it, it's all for free. And it's really a full-featured digital audio workstation, so you can do anything from recording to editing to mixing and mastering. So if you install Cakewalk, the only other thing you need is an audio interface that connects your guitar to your computer. Now, I happen to have a Zoom recorder here, which I also use as an audio interface, but you don't need that, so you only need a small box, a USB audio interface that connects your guitar to your computer, which are, well, some of them are pretty cheap. So with an audio interface and the totally free Cakewalk software, you can do very good recording and everything else, editing, mixing, mastering. So what I'm going to do now is record 2 tracks of guitar, a basic accompaniment for a song, something like this. And then I'm going to record a second track where I play the melody and do some soloing. And well, I'll basically show you how I do that. So let's get into it. So here you see Cakewalk. It's started up. It's completely empty. And I'm going to record a guitar track. So the first thing I have to do is create an audio track to record on. So I right click here, insert audio track, and there's the track. You also see these faders appearing here and all kinds of stuff. If you stretch this a little bit, you see a few more controls and in and outputs. What I have set up is my audio interface already. You can see that here on the preferences and devices. You can see my Zoom L12 audio interface. So if you just have a very basic small audio interface, you will probably just see 2 channels here, a left and right input channel. Okay, so that's the connection of the guitar to Cakewalk in this case. Now I need to connect the guitar channel to this recording channel. Here is the input. You see input here. And my guitar is actually connected to the first right channel of my audio interface. So that's right. Again, if you have a simple audio interface, you'll just see 2 channels here. You can choose left or right or maybe stereo. But here I'm choosing right to channel 1, which has my guitar connected to it. So when I play now, you'll probably not see anything. But as soon as I press this recording button, here you see the sound coming in. So actually now I'm already ready to record. That's all it takes. If I start recording here, it'll start recording. Another thing is that, well, I don't usually use a click track, a metronome, or even a fixed or preset tempo. For this kind of recording with just a single guitar or 2 guitars, I just play freely. I don't need any fixed metronome to do that, so I'm just going to play freely in my own tempo. So I don't care about the setting of the metronome or the tempo or anything like that. I just leave it as it is. It's always wise to do a few bars of test recording, because if you do a full recording and then find out that some setting was wrong, then it can be very frustrating. So it's always wise to do even a few seconds of test recording to see if everything is working. So let's try that. Test recording. I'm going to press record and just play a few bars. So usually when I play a backing, so an accompaniment without a metronome, usually I tap the strings a couple of times in the beginning of the recording, so that at least I have an indication of the tempo when later I want to start playing a melody at a certain point, or start soloing. So basically I tap my own tempo on the strings like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to do that now with a small test recording. You see it's now running. Countdown is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's enough for a test recording. I could directly play it back, but when I play it back, I'd like to have a somewhat pleasant sound and not the very, very dry sound that's recorded. So I'm going to add two things before playing it back. Firstly, I'm going to add a little bit of reverb. Otherwise, it's really very dry. So I'm just going to use the standard reverb here in Cakewalk, which is this one. So I can add that here on the effects button. And the other thing I typically do is a little bit of boost of the higher frequencies, which makes it sound a little bit more bright and clear. There are various ways to do this. The way that I'm now doing it is I open up this channel, which is called the Pro channel. And then you have access to this equalizer. So what I tend to do is to boost the frequencies around 5 kilohertz a little bit. So that's about here. So something like this. And then I need to make it a little bit wider. Let's see, that is not this one. I think that's the Q factor, right? So I make this a little bit wider. And that gives me a little bit more clarity on the guitar sound. Okay, so now if I play this back. Now, this is a little bit too much reverb for me, so I'm going to dial this back a little bit, the amount of reverb here, until it's just a pleasant sound. Okay, that's good enough for now. Of course, later if you edit or mix, you can adjust all of this. You can add effects, remove effects, you can do anything afterwards. But this is good enough during the recording and playing back. I can close this window now. So basically now I'm all set up, everything is working, so I'm all set up to record a complete backing track. Now what I tend to do, what I often do is record one chorus of backing, then repeat that, basically copy that a couple of times, and then play a second track over this sequence of choruses. And then when I've played the soloing in the melody, then I can play a new backing track, or I can use part of the old backing track and play some parts of the backing track again, so that it doesn't repeat all the time. And also it gives a little bit of, you could say, it's not real interaction, because of course I'm not playing two guitars at the same time, but during the soloing I'm listening to the backing, and then when after the solo I play a new backing, then the backing also listens a little bit to the soloing. So then you get a little bit the feeling that there are two players playing together. Although I have to say, sometimes I just copy one chorus 10 times and play over it if I'm lazy. But if I have the time to do it, I play a new backing after the soloing. So the first step now is to play one chorus of the tune I want to play. I'm going to remove this test, delete, and I'm going to play one chorus of the song I Fall in Love Too Easily, which you might have recognized already. Alright, so recording, tapping the strings for tempo, and then I'll start. So the recording is running. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first chorus, and as you may have noticed, I played a little bit into the second chorus, and that's just, I'm going to cut that part off, but that's just to make sure that I'm not, not changing tempo or anything at the end of the first chorus, so that I will have a natural transition into the next chorus, even if I cut this off and then repeat this. So now we're going to set up the backing by repeating this first chorus. Okay, let's make it a little bit larger. You can use these buttons here. There's also another way with control arrow, but I'm just using these buttons now here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the first chorus, or I'm going to cut the first chorus so that I can copy it, and I have to find the start. So beat 1. I'm not using a fixed tempo or anything like that, so I'm going to put this, so I'm going to switch this off, because this snaps to a tempo grid, but I don't have a tempo grid, so this doesn't make sense. I'm just doing everything by hand and by ear. So I'm going to just put the beginning here and then cut it. And then I have to find the end of the first chorus. So you see here, actually, this is where the next chorus starts, so I'm going to cut it off exactly here. And this part we throw away. So what I can do now, I can copy this. I'm going to select this. I'm going just to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to select this first chorus, and I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm copying now with Control C, which you can't see. I can also do it like this. Here you can see it like there. Copy. And I think that when I paste, it will appear here at the at this position. It should. All right. Okay. So let's see if the transition is okay. Well, you can hear there's a little bit of volume difference, but we can take care of that later. For now, for the recording session, that doesn't matter too much. That doesn't bother me at the moment, so I'll just leave it like that. I go to the end now of the second chorus, and I'm going to paste again. Zoom out a little. So I'm going to paste again. Paste. And then I have another one. And I'm going to paste again. So let's say this is it. 4 choruses should be quite enough. I'm not going to play all of them now for the demonstration, but just to get the idea, like 4 choruses. So let's say a melody here, then 2 choruses of solo, and a final chorus of melody. And I haven't decided what to do with the ending yet. We'll think about that later. Okay, so now we have a backing track that lasts for 4 choruses, and we can just well, first maybe you can play along to get into the mood, like this. So I'm not recording yet, just playing. I haven't recorded now, but all I have to do now basically to record is create another channel. I'm not going to record here anymore, so I'm going to switch off the record here and insert another track. I'm recording, of course, on the same connection, the same physical channel, so I don't have to change any settings properly. Oh yeah, there's the input. I have to set the input here to the right channel, which I use for recording. And then I can do the same as before, so I can just basically start playing now and recording. And I can make this as long as I want, but now I have 4 choruses. I'm not going to play all of it now. I'm just going to play, for the demonstration, I'm just going to play a little bit of it. So I'm switching on the recording here. Yes, I have sound. The sound is getting in. So I'm sure everything's working, and now I start recording. Okay, so I decided to play one chorus of solo and then slowly get back to the melody again. So 3 choruses.